Welcome, Madridistas. How are you all doing? Well, today's video is amazing. Actually, we do 3 videos a day, and the one right now is incredible because we're going to keep calling out all those media outlets, all those outlets that are spreading misinformation and amplifying the hoax about the report. That Treasury report from 4 years ago. But the most serious thing, well, you mentioned Mundo Deportivo. Well, look, Mundo Deportivo, it was still posted there. It's true, right, Santi? The director of Mundo Deportivo already wrote an editorial about this morning. I mean, it's already the 19th. Today is the 19th. A new report from the tax agency. And it was proven last night that no, that it wasn't like that. It's explained in last night's video. Mirage, the gentleman, comes in and on our website on Negre. He goes to gaypunto.com and says, hey, here's a report from the tax agency. He didn't care that it was from 2022. Before it was actually being processed, it was being forwarded to the... I'm not sure what the technical term is for sending it to the prosecutor's office so they can investigate. And it was way before the start of the case investigation, before the very extensive report from the Civil Guard, and before everything that has happened since then. Besides, the report from the tax agency is a fiscal report. That's what they focus on from that moment on. Of course, if they hadn't seen anything at all with it, are they going to forward it to the prosecutor's office? And then that whole judicial process begins. Hey, well, based on what happened before everything else that happened later, with rulings from Judge Aguirre in between, he was the previous investigating judge because he retired, in which there was talk of systemic corruption within the refereeing establishment. So these guys come out and say, this works for us because it just came out now because Miguel Minagel Galan tweeted it, and we're going to say it's a new report. Hey, Santi Noja, the director of Mundo Deportivo, man, he's still saying it this morning. Of course, his sheep believe him, and there are a lot of them. And here, I'm not ending this live stream now. There's been a campaign to save Barça for a long time, but now it's intensifying. And why? Because it's very likely that UEFA will take action against them. So they're preparing the ground in case UEFA does take action and doesn't invite them to the next Champions League. And people say, but how is that possible? The tax authority said it. They didn't say a damn thing. And even if they did, it means nothing now. What they said was in the past, but they're presenting it as current news. It's unbelievable. I told you not to get heated, Miguel, but in today's video, it's only been 2 minutes and I'm already fired up. Anyway, but well, and I'm going to get even more fired up because, of course, this is Mundo Deportivo, which is just what it is, obviously. Okay. Teledeporte, Spanish radio and television, paid for with the money of all Spaniards. I want to believe, because honestly, I know people there. I care about them a lot. They are great professionals. And sometimes it's hard for me to talk about Spanish television because there are people there that I really appreciate, honestly. But man, I'm sorry, but I have to say it. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is a moment from that news segment from last night's Teledeport program, I think it is, with Carlos de Andrés leading. Carlos de Andrés, my former colleague. I did a Tour de France and a Vuelta a España with him. Hey, great cycling professional, great expert in cycling. I think there are things he doesn't know about, obviously. And I think that here, I want to believe it's just pure lack of knowledge. And although I don't think someone writes things for him, because I believe that I insist, as a good professional, writes them himself. He does, but either he doesn't know or he hasn't been properly informed, because I wouldn't write something like that. Of course, one thing is the tweet that says here, the tax office sides with Barça. They're reviewing the day, right? Enrique Riquelme has the bullet. The tax office sides with Barça. Neymar goes to the World Cup. Okay, and you say, you come here to the video and you say, what did he say? Sorry, what did he say? What did Carlos de Andrés say about Negreira? This is the beginning. Carlos de Andrés is this one, so you can recognize him. Okay, the one who's always done cycling on Spanish television. He's always with Perico, right? He's really good at covering cycling. And he said this.
The tax authorities clear Barça of using money to buy referees in the Negreira case, see no sports corruption, support Barça's account, and question Florentino Pérez's accusations. Thank you.
He questions Florentino Pérez's accusations, even though what Florentino Pérez said was, as the investigating judge has said, that there is systemic corruption in the refereeing establishment. But let's see, what have they actually checked here to say this? That the editors of this program, well, even Carlos de Andrés himself, I mean, yeah, but anyway, and above all, the main person in charge, Felipe del Campo, I was just about to mention him, right? Another one who was my boss too. No, Carlos de Andres wasn't my boss, but Felipe del Campo was at Marca TV. I can't believe Felipe del Campo. Seriously, I mean, I'm amazed having that other guy, Pavel Fernandez, there and now allowing this. What is this, man? With all Spaniards' money, they're lying to people, they're misinforming them, but no way. What are they going to give? How did he say it exactly? I don't want to. Let's see.
It's from Florentino Pérez.
Just a moment.
They question the accusations.
They question Florentino Pérez's accusations. No, that's not how it is. What? Just by looking at a date? You look at a date and see that the Spanish tax authority report is from 2022, and this news goes straight to the trash because it's not news. It's not news. Man, it's unbelievable. Spanish television, Teledeport, unbelievable. I appreciate a lot of people in there. Really, they'll get mad. I don't care. But this is intolerable. You can't just leave this unreported. And it hurts me precisely because of that. Because it's a public outlet. Well, and because we already know what all this is about. I mean, it's clear to me that if Barça falls, a big part of the success of Spanish football or the chances for the league to sell itself more and better will fall too. Tebas gives a lot of money to all these outlets. And as president of La Liga, since the Barcelona-Negreira case broke out, there's been an attempt by the media not to let Barcelona fall and to whitewash Barcelona over the Negreira scandal. And they take advantage of anything. But man, at least take advantage of something that's true or has a solid base, not something that falls apart like a house of cards. Don't just look at a date. Like I said, it's hard for me to believe that this man, who was a good professional in his time, well, a good professional in general, right? But I was going to say that back when I was covering cycling with him, he always looked at me a little sideways. Carlos de Andres, sending him my regards. Don't get me wrong, I have fond memories of that Tour de France, that Vuelta a España, but he always looked at me kind of sideways, as if saying I had taken over from someone who had been covering cycling for a long time on Spanish television news, on the news broadcast. And so, of course, there were all these suspicions, right? Like, what's this guy doing here? I was just a young guy showing up and all that. And so it was like they were looking at you with a bit of suspicion, like this guy doesn't know anything about cycling, right? They judged you before even seeing you work. Working in those conditions is tough. But well, luckily, I had many very good colleagues at Televisión Española and people who trusted me a lot. Among them, my main boss, who was the one who sent me to these events to turn the situation around. Well, I say the same thing now, right? Carlos may know a lot about cycling, but I don't think he knows much about soccer. And about what's happening with the Barcelona-Negreira case, I don't think so either. Because if he did, he wouldn't have signed this. No matter if you have someone in front of you telling you, you have to say this. I mean, you just refuse. Hey, I'm here spreading a hoax, amplifying a hoax, misinformation. I won't do this. So, well, anyway, let's get to it. Let's get to the campaign. There's a lot of chaos spreading. Right now, look, people are talking a lot about this, about Gilmarín in Enrique Riquelme's candidacy. Every idiot is saying something about a lot of topics. There's so much misinformation going around that it's like a competition to see who says the biggest nonsense, right? And something very serious. A sort of SS or Gestapo within Madridismo has been activated. And what they do is monitor, yes. I mean, well, they go after anyone they think isn't Madridista enough, right? So they're attacking all of us, right? Interestingly, it mostly comes from one side rather than the other. And like me, many people are saying without confirming that we would vote. I'm a member, I can vote, that we would vote for Enrique Riquelme because I want to hear that man's platform. Let's see what he offers me. I think it's good for Real Madrid. I mentioned it in a short I released yesterday. It's good for Real Madrid right now to have a debate, to lay out two platforms. And besides, Florentino Pérez is the one who started this process. No one forced him to start it, Perla. Florentino Pérez is the one who proposed and called for the elections. No one has forced him. If he does it, it's because he wants a debate, he wants someone to run. And if someone runs, they'll ask him for a debate and to compare programs, right? Well, that's good. That's good. We'll just want the programs compared, and it's also important to know what Florentino Pérez's program is. Right now, there's a policy of fait accompli, like suddenly Mourinho is in, and that's it. Sorry. Tell us what you want to do with Real Madrid in the coming years, and what better than to have an electoral campaign so you can compare it with the other candidates' platform, and tell us what Florentino is going to do. Rather than having to find out here through sudden changes what has been done in the last 2 years, unlike the previous ones, which were very good, right? There were always some issues, but in sports, you can't complain. 6 Champions League titles in 10 years. So, of course, I insist, but this thing about the SS or the Madrid Gestapo that's being set up here to point fingers and crush even the cleaning staff, Alvaro Edemon had it done to him, as we discussed in the morning video. To those they consider to be bad Madrid fans. Well, it's reaching such extremes that it makes that balcony cop in Spain during the lockdown look mild. I was luckily in the United States and that didn't happen, but Spain is a country where things like that tend to happen. The neighbor, the balcony police, those people who would come out to tell the neighbor that he had taken his dog out for a walk 2 or 3 times, one more time than he was supposed to, and would call him out loudly. And no, you have to go back home because someone else would also like to go for a walk, right? Well, it's the same thing, isn't it? It's the same thing here, reporting anything. And well, anyway, they're saying all sorts of things about us and about Enrique Riquelme. They say this. Look, I don't know. I really don't know. But are they linking him to Gilmarin? Because it turns out that the one from Clínica Menorca is, as it says here, wait a moment, are there shared interests? Through his close friend, Ángel Martín from Clínica Menorca. Who is this gentleman who was with Enrique Riquelme there yesterday? And you say, well, do you guys think someone is going to run for president of Real Madrid? Hey, maybe yes. I don't know. Since I don't know, I can't be sure. But it seems like nonsense to me. But well, with the backing of this gentleman, the good one, the top representative of Atlético de Madrid, although even if he seems to be Cerezo, it's definitely Gilmarin, who, by the way, took the club away from the fans back in the day, right? That was time-barred and all that, or do you really think that's how it is? They're also saying that the PSOE is behind this, but come on, let's see. Because if this man is now surrounding himself with politicians and big businessmen, but what did Florentino do? I really don't want to justify Enrique Riquelme. I want to talk about the nonsense that people say. As if Florentino back in the day didn't surround himself with important, powerful people. And they talk about the PSOE, but the PSOE is settled in the Bernabeu's VIP box. How many ministers go there? All the parties, which embarrasses me, but man, it's Madrid. Florentino wants to get along with everyone. That's how it is. Okay? Well, so what then? But, sorry, we've also seen Florentino involved in this with Cerezo. They say he gets along well with him, not so much with Miguel Ángel Gil, but well with Cerezo. So what? So what's going on here? Well, the same thing. I give it the same importance as the other one and the same significance as the other. Hey, maybe I'm getting confused, and one day they'll tell us, look, Enrique Riquelme's connections were with Miguel Ángel Gilmarin and so on. But now there are so many police officers and people, journalists, investigators, 4 random people on social media who have been given a phone and a Twitter account. And many of them anonymous, start doing investigations as if they were El Español, El Mundo, or El Confidencial newspapers. I have to say, because I know, look at the threads, look at the connections, look, so much nonsense, but, well, what are they? They're laughable. The only thing I want is that, and since they say he's finally going to run, that there are elections, that programs are compared, and hey, let's see, man, let's see what they have to offer. Let's see what each one has to offer. And that really, a debate like that would be wonderful. I think it benefits Real Madrid members, but why not? Why not? But why are they accusing those of us who want there to be a debate and who think it's good for the members of wishing Madrid ill? And it turns out that the good guys, the good guys are the ones who don't want a debate. Those who want that, after 20 years, we get to 24 without any elections at Real Madrid because only one candidate runs. But it's the world upside down. Those who don't want there to be elections because the same person always has to win because no one else runs so that it looks like a democracy are the ones who are fine. Those of us who want someone to run at least once in 20 years, so there can be debates, are the ones considered wrong. Of course, if we get picky, I, for example, would say, I don't know, Enrique Riquelme, I insist, if he's a friend, look at Angel Gil, because he's seen him in photos, because they were sponsoring something also with the guy from Marca, with Gallardo and so on. But hey, I'm not naive either. Marca, for example, is sharing lots of info and hyping up Riquelme because they can't stand Florentino, and I'm not naive either, damn it. But why have they appeared together in photos and so on? Anyway, the only thing we know here is the following, because those are just speculations. And I insist, if we want to get picky about this and if we want to be really scrupulous, consider all the good things Florentino has done for Real Madrid. I won't say anything different from what I've already said on my channel in recent videos. What we know is that Barça was not reported after the Barcelona Negreira case came out. They were not reported in time. Yes, we joined the criminal case as a party, as we've mentioned, but they didn't go all out against Barça, much less against UEFA, even though it could have been done, nor against FIFA in the first 2 or 3 years. Why? We sided with Laporta over the Super League, and now Florentino comes out saying, as soon as I found out. That's not true, Florentino. It didn't happen that way. We know that Madrid gave it through Anas, Lagari, etc. They gave Barça the idea of the levers, and then we also know that Madrid, with Florentino Pérez as president, didn't report those fictitious levers because they turned out to be fake. The ones from August 2022, with which they registered Lewandowski, Koundé, etc. And we know too that Madrid did nothing, nor did they oppose the registration of Dani Olmo, which was done after the deadline. If Madrid and Florentino Pérez had pushed on those 3 things, things would have turned out differently. Maybe Barça would have been penalized. Maybe they wouldn't have received La Liga's help to register players after the deadline with fake money, or UEFA's invitations to more Champions Leagues. Maybe. And the president was Florentino Pérez, and we all know this. We all know this. Because they're attacking this Riquelme guy, and he just spoke up to say he might run. I'm going to say no, look at Gilles Marin and so on. Speculations. The other thing is what we do know. Florentino is safe because he's Real Madrid's greatest president. Despite 2 bad years, look at all the good he's done. That's why if we start digging here, damn, the truth gives you more to dig into than either of those other things, I think. But anyway, you may or may not like it because honestly, I'm getting more and more fed up with this and with how people blind themselves to it. Hope all goes well for you. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Have a great Tuesday. Bye.